Good morning, everyone. My name is Angel, and I'm the host of Have Faith, Let It Begin. Today is March 28th, 2019. We are pre-recorded, and for one reason. I wanted to sleep in this morning, I'll be honest. But more importantly, I wanted to do something a little different. Today is a Thursday, so I wanted to do something that I've seen a little bit on social media. It's called Throwback Thursday. So I'm going to take us back 2 days after I launched, June 18th, 2018, when I aired my first personal testimony entitled The Mystery Man. So here now is an episode very popular that you've never seen before if you've just joined us and hadn't had a chance to go back. This episode is called The Mystery Man. I will see you live tomorrow, March 29th, 2019, for a live edition from my home of Have Faith, Let It Begin. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. When I was a child, my mom always told me, Angel, when you were born, all the angels came from heaven. Do you know why? Because you're special. On June 16, 2018, I launched my show, Have Faith, Let It Begin. I always wanted to change the world, share my personal testimony, share real-life stories and motivational topics to set out to go out and change the world. Join me each and every week, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., because this is a show all about faith. My name is Angel, and welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin. I call this one the mystery man that is really an angel. So I guess you can call it the mystery angel. So here I am. I'm working 3 jobs, and I just get home one night. It's a Friday night. I get home, and I'm in my car, so you heard somebody with a motorcycle go by. Sorry. I get home and from one of my 2 jobs, and as we all do, we get home late. We end up going to the mailbox, and I pick up a bill, and I see it's the electric bill. And now, mind you, which you'll hear more about this later, but I had a very, very small apartment, and so the electric bill wasn't always high, but it was high enough for me because bills were so tight. So here I am. I don't even want to look at the bill because I know that I can't even afford to pay it. And I just put the bill down on the kitchen table, and I'm staring at it, and I'm making something to eat, but I don't want to open it, but I know I have to. And at that moment, my phone rings, and I get a phone call, and I was a server for a food chain of restaurant. I guess I can say the name. It was TGI Fridays, and they said, hey, Angel, we have a shift for tomorrow morning. Can you come in and just fill in for like a couple hours, which I used to do. He said, yeah, of course, definitely, I'll take it. I got a bill here. I'll be more than happy to do it. So anyway, I went to bed, and I couldn't sleep because that bill was just in my head, and I knew I had to pay it. So here I am. I get up the next morning, and I start heading over to work. I stop at a local coffee shop, and I get myself a bagel and and a coffee because I'm exhausted. I finally get to the restaurant, and as soon as I get to the restaurant, I get there just in time. That we're opening up, and nobody likes to get the first sat person, but I volunteered, and they set a gentleman down, and the gentleman sits in my booth, and I was just about ready to eat my bagel, and I said, well, I got to serve. So I went over there. It was a nice elderly gentleman. I went up to him, and I said, how are you today, sir? He says, I'm fine. I said, what can I get for you? He says, well, I'd like to have a coffee to start, and I'd like to have a bagel with cream cheese. As you know, Fridays doesn't serve breakfast or bagel with cream cheese. At least it didn't when I was around. This is 2001, 2002. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't think we have bagels, but you know what? Let me see what I can do about the coffee, and I'll see if I can get you something. As I'm walking back, I said to myself, well, I just got a bagel. I didn't even touch it. I didn't even open it. I was going to share with them. I've been going through a very difficult time in my life, as you will start to know about this during this time in this era. And so I go in the back, I get him a cup of coffee, and I cut up half the bagel, and I decide to share it with him. I bring it back to him, and I give him the coffee, and I go, "Sir, if you don't mind, we don't serve bagel and cream cheese, but I would like to share half of my bagel with you." And he smiled, and he initially, automatically, took the bagel, and he started to sip his coffee, and he looks at me and he just says, and I get a little emotional, but he says to me, "Well, only if you'll sit with me for a few minutes, I'll accept the bagel." So I sat down for a few seconds, and I thought we would have a conversation, but he never really talked to me. He just sipped his coffee, took a bite of the bagel, and kept smiling at me. And as we do as servers, we know we're trained to fill up our guests' drinks as they get low. Well, his coffee was getting low, so I decided that I would go and get him another cup of coffee. So I said, "Would you excuse me? I'm going to get another cup of coffee." Now, I had been going through a very, very rough time in my life at this point, so I was struggling with problems that I had, and the problem that I had was, I was going through a small depression due to a breakup, and also living in a town that I didn't have any friends. Well, as I got up to go, to the back to get his coffee, he reached out and grabbed my arm, nicely, of course, and he looked at me and he called me by my name, and he said, "Do not be sad. Everything is going to be okay. Please, just keep smiling." And at that moment, I just felt this, I overcame with joy. And I got a little teary-eyed, and I went back, and as soon as I went to the coffee area, they had drank all the coffee, the other servers, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I got to get this guy another fresh pot." So I say, "Hey, can you do me a favor, keep an eye on the gentleman, I'm going to make a fresh pot for him." So I start making the coffee, and as I'm getting ready and, taking a few more minutes, about like 6-7 minutes go by, and I got caught up in a conversation as I was making coffee, and I said, "Oh my God, the older gentleman." So I said, "Hey, can you do me a favor, check on the guy?" And one of the servers went there and to check for me and tell them that I was coming out with coffee. The server came back and he says to me, "Angel, I don't know if you know this, but the guy left." I'm like, "What? Why would he leave?" So I quickly ran out, and he was gone. I get emotional here because as I walked outside and I couldn't find him. He was gone, and nobody knew where he went. And as I came back in, I went to clean off the table, and underneath the plate was a $50 bill. And I just couldn't believe that. And my manager didn't want to charge him for the coffee or anything, so I got a $50 bill. Well, later that day, I got cut real quick because it was very slow. It had been a slow morning, so I got cut first, and I went home, and the gentleman was on my mind the whole time. And as I got home, I felt happy. I felt as if something was changing. And when I got home, I decided that I would open the bill because I had a fairly good morning, and I made some money. And after I got gas in my car and everything, I had some money left in my wallet. When I opened up the bill, that's when I knew God had sent me an angel. When I opened up the electric bill, the bill was exactly $50. God doesn't make mistakes. God doesn't do things by accident. God sends messengers. God sends angels to us. We just have to be aware that they exist. We have to be aware that He is always watching us and that He always puts us first and puts our needs and our way of thinking and our way of life first. I wanted to share that with you. There'll be a lot more stories like this. A lot of things have happened to me, and they continue to. But I hope this is just an example of things to come. I hope that you all have a great morning, a great day, and a great evening. This was the story of my mystery angel, the gentleman with the generous tip who will forever be a part of my life, and for putting me on the right path and on the great path to what my faith has become. This is Angel with Have Faith. Let it begin. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. You're going to hear episodes, me recording live as my daughter in the background, Ariel, will probably cry. You'll hear background noises like phone calls. And right on the cue, she's starting to cry. Don't worry, everybody. We're going to continue on like never before. And with Ariel in the background, knowing that in the future you're going to hear yourself crying like this, Mama, yeah, say hi to everybody out there. We just want to encourage each and every one of you to join us every single weekday, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Join me, Ariel, my family, and everyone as we continue our journey. For Have Faith, Let It Begin, my name is Angel. Say goodbye, Ariel. Say bye. Bye.